I know this song
yeah.
for sure. I didn't
He's
know
from
that
Ohio.
he was the guy singing it.
Rick Derringer.
Good
Rock
song.
and Roll Hoochie Coo. I used to bang a girl in college who would sing this song all the time.
Oh, I thought her name was going to be Hoochie Coo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in my brain it was, but I wasn't going to. He's from a town called Fort Recovery, Ohio, which is like you step across the street and you're in Indiana. I've never been there, but listen, these tiny towns, they need something to be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Wakarusa, Indiana's got a dead cow named Contented Linda Grace. French Lick, Indiana's got what, Bill?
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Legend.
That's right.
You guys got Tilda? We got Tilda.
And
his aunt that shows up.
And Rick Derringer from Fort Recovery, Ohio. I think Rick Derringer is still alive. I was watching something, and I heard Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, and I was like, what a great song. I forgot about Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. And then it made me think of that girl that I banged in college pretty regularly for a while. A couple of months, right?
Yeah.
And she used to sing that song all the time. And I was like, I wonder what she's doing. And so then I do that thing that a lot of people do regularly, where they'll go on Facebook and see what people are doing. And I never do that. I'm just not on Facebook that much. And I went on to see.
I can't remember people's names.
I went on to see what she was doing. And Mary got kids a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So that's fine. Hey, speaking of, you got to be old to know who Larry Storch is. Now, I don't know who the third celebrity is that will die. Maybe somebody has died today, but two people died on Friday. Larry Storch died. He was 99 years old. He was on a show in the 60s called F Troop. You got to be older than me to have watched F Troop. It was on reruns when I was a kid. You could still get it on, like, the Superstation would run F Troop and, friggin' Cisco Kid on, like, Sunday mornings, but they were way past their sell-by date by then. But Larry Storch, who I didn't even know the guy was still alive. He died at 99 years old.
All right, now let's look alive. It's all you have to do all day, so let's do it right. Svensson! If you're awake, let your face know about it. Gravy stains, Duddleson, gravy stains. Look at you. You're a mess. F Troop all present and accounted for, sir.
Yeah, that was comedy in the 60s there, is calling people gravy stains. He was also Mr. Whoopi on Tennessee Tuxedo, so he was a voice actor as well.
Oh, that.
But he was on a very, very popular show called F Troop that was really only on for a few years in the late 60s. So you have to be old to remember Larry Storch. You don't have to be so old to remember Tony Sirico. He also died on Friday. He was Paulie Walnuts on The Sopranos. He had been living in an assisted living facility. I always like to think of these actors, showbiz is replete with stories of these people who just die penniless and they find him somewhere. He wasn't one of those guys. He was a guy that kind of came to fame late, because Tony Sirico was basically the only guy in the main cast of The Sopranos who was a real-life criminal. Like, he had done time for all kinds of stuff. And David Chase, who was the guy that created The Sopranos, really liked him. He read for the Uncle Junior part. Obviously, he didn't get it. And David Chase was like, well, the bad news is you didn't get Junior. The good news is I want to write you a part. So he wrote Paulie Walnuts for him. He had one line in the pilot. My wife and I, a couple of Christmases ago, binged The Sopranos. She had never seen it before, and I would take any excuse to watch him again. So Tony Sirico was 79 years old. He was Paulie Walnuts. And I guess he had Alzheimer's. If you don't see pictures of these people for a while, you don't realize what they look like now. And he and when Gandolfini was still alive, they would go do, things for the troops. Wherever the troops are, Mm-hmm. Some people will say, Bill, that they're going to entertain the troops, right? Yeah. Turns out they're not. Yeah. Other people will actually go over and entertain the troops. Sure.
You ever feel like nothing good was ever going to happen to you?
Yeah, and nothing did. So what? I'm alive. I'm surviving.
That's it.
And nothing did. And so what? And he was that guy. Like, by all accounts, they're like, Tony Sirico was exactly that guy from The Sopranos.
Paulie Walnuts. Man, I loved him.
He was great.
He was fantastic.
So, wife beaters at half-mast over the weekend, if you noticed that.
Probably the funniest one on the show.
Yeah.
I think he had the funniest lines.
Without trying to be.
Yeah.
But he
The
had
episode where they're in the woods all night.
Yeah.
It's him and Christopher in the woods. Oh, my goodness. When he loses his shoes. Oh, it's so funny.
That's a classic Sopranos episode.
What do they call that one?
Pine Barrens.
Pine Barrens, yeah.
So, but he was the only guy in the main cast that was a legit criminal, like had done time and came to acting late, didn't get famous until he was in his 50s from The Sopranos. I think he was in Goodfellas, too. He was usually getting cast in those parts.
He was in a few Woody Allen movies, too.
Yep, Woody Allen liked him, too. That tells you all you need to know about it. But he was arrested at age 7 for stealing nickels from a newsstand.
All right.
He was arrested another 27 times for assault, robbery, weapons possession. He once got shot in the leg after getting caught making out with the girlfriend of a rival member of a gang. Oh my gosh. And then he started doing acting in Sing Sing prison, where he was doing a bit for extortion, coercion, and felony weapons possession. So he got out, and he's like, maybe I'll be an actor. And that's what he did. So Tony Sirico, who in all honesty, I thought had already died, but he was 79. Of course, he had the skunk stripes, right? The white stripes on either side of his head with the dark hair. So if there's a third celebrity death, I don't know about it. But there's a lot of things I don't know about. So maybe that'll present itself to me.
Hey, Alan. It's Mike from the west coast of Ohio here. I was calling in to let you know that I'm selling the naming rights to my Collins signature. I already have some interest, but I was looking to see for your help if you knew anyone else. If not, I might end up being Mike, East Coast Custard from the west coast of Ohio, calling in from now on. Love you. Bye.
That might be confusing when Mike from the west coast of Ohio calls in if he sells the naming rights to East Coast Custard, which I discovered is a thing.
East Coast Custard?
Yeah. Didn't know it was a thing.
Oh, what's a thing?
It is a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In fact, at the Paynesville location, Mary, you might be interested to know their flavor of the day today is Elvis Swirl.
That's
Peanut butter and banana.
Butter and
Oh, you know what that is?
Probably. Elvis
Oh.
was known for making peanut butter and banana sandwiches. Maybe bacon on them, too. I don't know. But I know peanut butter and banana for sure.
Oh, okay. I'd never heard of that before.
Alan.
I didn't know. I mean, I'd heard of the stories of Elvis. I didn't put two and two together and figure out what that was. Elvis Swirl, you're saying, is probably peanut butter and banana.
Yeah.
All right. It's not a sexual position, as I understand it.
It could
That
be both.
also, or they could dunk the ice cream in the toilet. Like a swirly. That's got an Elvis swirl to it.
Hey, what happened to my custard? Sir, you ordered Elvis Swirl. We put that in the toilet.
Or once he sees the custard come out of the thing, he can never use that custard machine again.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The Colonel Tom Parker. Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. You're on the air. What's going on?
So, what didn't that guy from The Godfather die last week too? So wouldn't that have been somewhere near 3 dead people mix?
James Caan.
Oh,
yeah.
James Caan.
Yeah.
Jimmy Caan did die. Yes, I guess so. I guess I was thinking
three.
that is 3.
They were like within
Yeah.
a couple days of each other, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right,
right.
good.
I
Thank
mean-
you.
Maybe.
Thanks
You're
for-
welcome.
Thanks for reminding us of the death. That was nice.
She's just here to help.
I did.
yeah,
I did
that's why I
ask the
thanked her.
question.
Yeah.
That's on. Was her name Sarah?
Yeah.
That's on me. Thank you, Sarah. I hope you spell that with an H. That is the only proper way to spell that name. Nevertheless,
You're like,
Ray. All of our good gangster actors, right? Leota, Jimmy Caan, Tony Sirico. I hope somebody has eyes on Chaz Palminteri, because who knows what's going on there. Joe Mantegna, who lost a considerable amount of weight. If you saw this last season of Barry. Joe Mantegna is very thin.
Chess Palminteri's got to be, because he was old.
I think the wild thing about these
he's
guys,
gotta be
though,
almost 90.
I think the crazy thing about these guys is that they must be doing something right because they never go gray. They always have these just dark black heads of hair.
dude.
These guys are like 80. I'm like, God, I would kill.
Genetics, man.
I started going gray when I was in college. I'm like, I would love to have that natural jet black hair when you're 80.
You got weak genes,
Okay.
brother.
Oh, that'd be great.
I am blown away by this.
What?
Chess Palminteri is only 70 years old.
No,
I thought he
he's
was
not.
old.
What?
I don't even
Born
know
in
who that is.
1952.
That can't be right.
Chaz
Yes, Chaz.
Palminteri.
That can't be right.
What?
Oh, I know him.
You ever seen a Bronx Tale?
He's kind of hot.
Fantastic.
Wait a minute. am I
Usual
getting that right?
Suspects.
Yeah.
He's Agent Coolion.
Yeah, I
All right.
like this guy.
He's great.
He's hot in a weird way,
Like that he kind of looks like a fish.
like a dad way.
70. The guy's looked 70 for 30 years.
That's why I thought he was going to be so old. I'm like, oh, this guy's got to be older than all the rest of them. And he's 70. So.
Wow.
Because, yeah.
So he was, when he did a Bronx Tale, he was 30?
He was
I mean, that movie, right?
93.
Bronx Tale's 93. So
Wow.
that's 30 years.
So he's 40 years
Oh, he's
old.
40.
Yeah.
Okay. But he was still, he
That's
looked.
a tough 40, though.
Yeah. Wow, well done. And Dominic Chianese is still alive. That's the guy who played Junior. He's going to outlive all those dudes. He's still alive.
He's still
Chaz
going.
Palmintini. He's from
Terry Notini.
Chazray Palminteri. He was in Analyze This.
Yeah.
He's one of the
Well, what I
best.
like, though, is when these guys take, or they either take a nickname or they take like a stage name. His name is Caligaro Lorenzo Palminteri.
Jeez.
Yeah. He was on Modern Family back in the day, too. If you remember, he played Shorty on Modern Family.
Pool Hall Junkies. My ex was obsessed with that movie.
Well, yeah, because that movie sucks. So that's why you broke up with him.
I've probably seen that movie at least 5 or 6 times. Like, that was his go-to when you're feeling bummed out, watch Pool Hall Junkies. And I'm like, dude, this movie blows.
Pool Hall
Like, why do we keep
here's the thing:
watching
Pool Hall
this?
Junkies is like Boondock Saints, where it's like one of those bro movies.
Oh my God.
It's one of those movies where like a guy got his own movie made and then starred in it, and you never heard from him again. That was one of those like early aughts type of bro movies.
When he's like,
He
spoiler,
managed to get Walken and Rod Steiger and all these other guys.
spoiler alert if you've never seen it.
Ricky Schroeder.
The big payoff at the end is when he tricks the guy into taking his shot, and he's like, no, you just paid me $5,000 to take your shot. Now I get to take mine.
Well, thanks a lot,
Doesn't seem to
Mary.
make any sense.
And then he wins. Huh?
Why does he get to take his shot?
Because the guy's confused or something. Like, it's this big high-stakes pool game.
Did some dumb switcheroo?
It's a swim switcheroo. It's a big, stupid billiards game, and it all leads up to this moment. And the guy,
That's why it's called Billiard Hall Junkies.
he's like, I'll pay you $5,000 with some amount of money if you can make this shot. And
Chaz
then
Palminteri was backing this kid,
Yes.
and Walken's backing the other guy.
Yes, so
Right.
they're like the bank
old switcheroo,
rollers.
that's
Yeah,
right.
and then he's like, he takes the shot. He's like, I'll pay you X amount of money if you make this shot. And he takes the shot, and then the guy's like, I win, pay up. And he goes, no, you paid me to take your shot.
Yeah.
Now I still have to take mine. And then he ends up setting himself up perfectly, and then he like makes the shot, and it's like, oh, and then it's, that's it. That's a 2-hour lead up to that moment. That's what it is. It's not a good movie.
It was one of the last legit things you'd see Ricky Schroeder in.
Yeah.
Like he played himself in Get Him to the Greek. That piece of crap. He played himself in that, but Ricky Schroeder in Pool Hall Junkies.
Yeah.
From Pool Hall to Carpool. Boy, I'll tell you what, you Texas bureau chiefs, and we've got a lot of you. And a lot of people listen from the show, from the Lone Star State. And boy, it's been quite a ride currently for you guys. There's a woman right now in Texas. This is Plano, Texas. I don't think we have a bureau chief in Plano. We have them all over Texas. And this woman, her story's gone viral because she was pulled over for using the HOV lane. And she said, well, I'm pregnant. And since you guys consider that a person, I can ride in the HOV lanes. And she said that the cop kind of waved her off. And she was like, no. This is, the ripple
She was
effects.
driving around waiting. She's like,
Please pull me over.
so I can get
Please.
this ticket so I can take this to court.
Yeah.
That's right.
Smart.
Yeah.
I love
He
it.
starts peeking around. He's like, is it just you? I said, no, there's 2 of us. And he's like, well, where's the other person? And I went, right here. And I said, not trying to throw a political mix here, but with everything going on, this counts as a baby. And he kind of just waved me off. I really don't feel like it's right because one law is saying it one way, but then another law is saying it another way.
I like her. She's like, I don't want to be all political. This is all political, by the way. 1,000% political. Yes, of course. So, she'll be the person that will fight that ticket because she's like, look, you guys are trying to tell me that this is a whole other person. So that's why I'm riding the HOV lanes. Brandy Batone is the lady there in Plano. I don't know how far along she is. 34 weeks, she said. But the officer told her, that doesn't count. Ooh. And she said, of course it does, according to
the Supreme
Court.
Supreme
Court. Of course it does. She got a $275 ticket.
Damn.
You want to know my prediction? She will lose this case.
Probably.
Because they're trying to make money, obviously. But also because all of the unintended consequences of these kinds of
But if she loses the case, she
stupid,
wins. If she loses the case, she wins.
What do you mean loses the case?
Like if she loses the case and they say that that's not a person, then go, well, then how come you're treating it like a person?
Well, I mean, they're gonna come up with something to make her pay the ticket. They're going to go, no.
Well, I mean...
Because the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing right now. I mean, law-wise. Because overturning Roe v. Wade wasn't based in law. It was based in caprice.
Bible.
Judicial whatever, right. So there's all these laws of unintended consequences.
Well, that's like a lot of people... I'm sure you guys have seen the same tweets going around where it's like... Okay, then this is a person. I'm going to start claiming on my taxes. If I'm 6 months pregnant during the year, I am claiming that as a dependent. And everyone's like, you can't do that.
And these aren't jokes.
No, but it's 100% true. Because it's like,
that's
fine,
right.
then I get an extra year of this child on my taxes. And then everyone's like, well, but that's not the same thing. If it's, well, if it's a person.
It's all the same thing.
You know?
This is what you guys wanted.
Yeah.
You don't get it for free.
Yep.
Here's what it is.
I would just say I'm perpetually pregnant.
Yeah!
Dude, I know a chick who's been pregnant like 8 years. I'm like, yo, stop having kids, bro.
This is just another way to make life hard for men. Thank you very much.
But,
Where's our rights, Mary? Where's our rights?
I need you to
We can't
explain.
claim our child as for taxes.
Become a seahorse.
Yeah. That's right.
Working on it. Speaking of birth, I learned that there's 2 spellings of birth yesterday because of Wordle.
BERTH.
Yeah.
You didn't know that
like
there was
ship.
Yeah.
Where does it make birth?
When you say give him a wide berth.
Yep.
You thought it was BIRTH?
I just didn't. I mean, I also was doing this in the morning. I don't know. I didn't think of that. And, you know, when you're doing Wordle, you're like...
There's no other way.
Yeah.
The Wordle
and then
was
you
wrong.
get that and you go, oh, what the hell?
Something else?
Had a dumb moment.
You're not up on your nautical terminology?
He's not.
No.
Because it's also...
I look at the lake.
It's
I don't
also
go on
your...
it.
Like Navy men know this, and women too. It's also your bunk. Your berth, your spot at the, you know, where the ship goes in, your slip, you know.
Which means I thought a wide berth was like, make sure you got a wide
open. Wide berth,
yeah, give him a wide berth.
Dad's down there
the
like
baby
Johnny
slides
Bench.
out.
He's got his mitt on.
No, that's not how that goes.
A wide berth. Well, now you know.
Now I know. I learned something.
And now I know that Wordle is still a thing.
I play it not every day like I used to, but whenever I remember, maybe 3 or 4 days a week.
I'll play it with my girlfriend. We'll see who can get the Wordle first, and it's fun.
I like word games. There's a game that we played in high school in study hall that was, man, I'm still obsessed with it to this day. It's called Text Twist, where it's just like they give you 6 letters, and you have to make as many words out of those 6 letters as you can, but you have to get...
Boggle, I think, is like a...
Kind of like Boggle,
version,
yeah. You have to get the 6-letter word in order to move on to the next round. So if you don't get... It doesn't matter if you get every other word. If you don't get the 6-letter words, you don't move on to the next round. So I played that for... like consistently for like probably 2 or 3 straight years in all of my free time. So now like word jumbles or things like Wordle, I love like word puzzle games. They're my favorite.
I mean, I played words with friends for a long time, but I finally just didn't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah.
So I bailed. But I never did Wordle.
Try Wordle.
Every now and then I'll jump on Text Twist and I'll do it again, and then I'll sit there. Because if you keep winning, I'll sit there and play for like an hour. Just finding the words, and it's fun. You got to rearrange them.
It's not gambling. That's
it's
good.
Not gambling.
Mm-hmm. Birth and birth, someone points out, are both easier with a wide canal. I mean, you've heard of a playoff berth, a slot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that
Clench
was like...
the berth, or whatever it is.
BIRTH.
You thought it was a playoff berth.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're being born into the playoffs.
Yeah. That's why they're crouched down in the middle there.
Like, just never even thought of it as anything else.
Yeah.
Like, it was always just like I thought it had kind of a more like open meaning, but I thought it was all BIRTH.
Yeah.
So.
That's why I'm finally glad about Stansbury being in the buzzer. We finally got somebody who knows sports.
Mm-hmm.
Got a sports guy over here now.
Not a birth guy, though.
I don't know his thoughts on that. But I bet he's not spelling playoff berth with an I.
That is one more thing that I learned from Pirates of the Caribbean. I learned what commandeering was. I learned what a berth, B-E-R-T-H.
Didn't know what commandeering. You never heard a commandeer your vehicle. That's like a running joke.
Movies came out when she was a kid.
Yeah, I
so.
was like 11 when that movie came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
what kind of idiot 11-year-old doesn't know what commandeering is?
Well, no, I don't know how
Doused,
I don't know
that was
how
another
old
word?
those movies are. So I guess I didn't do the
very
math.
old.
Okay.
2002?
I think 2003 was the first
Something like
one.
that, yeah.
The first one was good.
Doused?
Yes.
You didn't know what doused was?
Douse the lights, he says at one point to like turn the lanterns off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what?
So it's a little old timey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take a break. Hey, if you want to go to the Cleveland Orchestra, they're showing Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring, and the Cleveland Orchestra, world famous.